points. The bank nifty is up almost 1900 points. So we'll ask our guest what their view is. If someone is currently tuning in, what's the view of the market? Let's talk about the positional trade. Amit, I'll start with you.
Sure.
The move has already come. There are a lot of people who missed this move now.
Right.
It's up 500 points on the Nifty, 1900 on the bank Nifty.
Right.
If someone wants to take a trade now, what would you recommend? Do you think the positional trade long would make sense for them?
I mean, yeah, Darshan, of course, it's hard to go long on a 500-point Nifty up move. So one can obviously utilize dips to go long, but the direction is for sure up, We have been actually contra long at Indiabulls, and it took its own time to play out. But even in my last show, I was talking about 11,400, 11,600 kind of zone. It still holds, I think that 11,400 to 11,600 was looking a probability, which is now a higher probability now, So I think we'll move towards the higher end of the range between 11,400 to 600. One should definitely be on the long side.
Which is a better bet, Nifty or the bank Nifty?
Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is always a high beta, so it falls more, it even rises more. And I mean, in such kind of an environment, Bank Nifty tends to outperform more than the Bank Nifty.
Okay, Shrikant, what's your sense if someone is taking positions now, should they go? Okay, that's the view that's coming in on Escort. Let's start with the first round of charts. We have a chart by Amit, and that is on HEG. HEG is another story itself. It's managed to move up over the past few days, but why are you bullish on HEG?
Sure. Of course, today's move is all about large caps and big short covering coming in from the leading names, and it's more of a index-led move today rather than the broader markets. But I think in this phase of down move, what we have seen is the willingness of the mid and small caps to come back so aggressively. We have seen several days of good, strong market breadth where the index has not been doing, and we have been repeatedly seeing this. I mean, this definitely suggests there's value buying happening in the broader markets and some stocks. Of course, it's not that broad-based as it was earlier, but there's definitely some value buying happening in the broader markets. HEG, can we have the monthly chart here first?
Okay.
Yeah. So what we are seeing here is, see, this is where the big top was made for HEG, and post that we have seen this declining trend. This is a monthly candle, so each candle is 1 month. So this is like 10 months of down move. What we have seen here is a very small narrow range for the entire month, which suggests that the downward pressure is ebbing, I mean, and that especially after 10 months of down move, when you see that small range happening, it definitely tells you that the hands are weaker on the downside. And now, all these candles, they had a falling trend, which means the top were lower and the lows were also lower. Now, after 10 months, we have seen the low being higher than the previous candle, and the high is also higher than the previous candle. Now, if we can switch back to the daily charts, what we are seeing here is a good sharp up move happening with strong volumes. These are not frankly weak hands who are buying the stock at such depressed levels, and I mean the overall negative sentiment in the markets. The one who's buying here with strong volumes is definitely strong hands. So I'm not expecting the stock to falter down anytime soon. In fact, I'd recommended the stock earlier. It did move a good 25%, but I think even from here it has still a lot of room on the upside. Probably once we see some further 200-300 points on the Nifty, we'll see good participation happening on the overall broader market.
Okay, it's at 1250 right now. What's the ideal level to buy? And what's your target?
I would buy even at these levels. I'll keep a stop of 1079 on the downside. My first target would be 1540, but I won't be surprised if it tests 1850 on the upside as well.
Okay, thanks so much for that, Amit. Shrikant, okay, Amit, what's your view?
Yeah, I mean, see, it has filled the gap, which was a big gap when it opened sharply on the downside. It is, I mean, exactly near that gap. And somewhere around that 1255, 1260 is also a resistance zone. This entire cluster is a resistance zone for the stock. I would give it a pass for now, I would actually give it a pass right now.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on Titan at this point of time. Let's begin the second round of chart, and Amit has a chart on United Spirits. Obviously, it's a Friday stock, and the FM has already thrown a party. Sure. Still buy?
Yeah, still buy. Actually, that's my way of saying cheers to the market, actually. So, on the weekly scale, if we see there's a long consolidation which has done with, and post that we had seen this move. And in this phase of the market, in this phase of its consolidation, what we are seeing here, one should remember that while the stock was consolidating in such a narrow band, we were seeing good selling pressure happening on the index. So, I mean, this itself tells you the relative story that it has been outperforming. Now, again, there's a good, this is a flag kind of a formation, because this is a sharp up move, and that too on a large time frame. If you see, it has broken out on the weekly charts after several months, So, it's a nice setup. The flag breakout has also happened. I do expect the stock, not just for a trading view, but this stock would have a sustained up move probably for the times to come.
Okay, it's at 630 right now. What's the should person buy now, and what's the target?
The target, the first target is 670, and the next target is 720. I'll keep a stop of 592 on this.
Okay, 592. Okay, thanks so much for that, Amit. Shrikant,
in the count.
Okay, and Amit, what's your view?
Yeah, continue to remain positive on autos in the near term. It has made a nice base around 2500 for itself. On the upside, as Shrikant mentioned, 2850 is a good zone. That's the first kind of a zone that one can expect on the upside. Beyond that, we'll have to see how the behavior of the price is. But in the near term, 2850 is the target zone.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on Hero MotoCorp, and again a large cap we want to speak about, and then the higher side. Okay, that's the view. Ambuja, what's your view, Amit?
Yeah, I mean, if you see it on the monthly charts, consistently around that 185, the stock has been unable to pierce that on the downside, and consistently we are seeing support coming in around these levels. And today again it has bounced back from the same zone. So it's a good spot to, it's a good spot from where it is bouncing back. I do see good times for the stock ahead. In the near term, 235 kind of a zone is very much possible.
Okay, Shrikant. Okay, that's the view that's coming in on the final stock, Ambuja, but we are completely timed out on this edition of Hot Money. Let me thank my guests, Amit, Shrikant and Chandan. Thank you so much for coming in today. Ask BQ comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.